Hello everyone, you have come to Tata Comic Preview channel. Let read together. Have fun. Lu Zhou had been waiting for this. Ming Shirin, Lang Luo, Pan Litian, and Yu Zhenghai stood behind Lu Zhou. They were staying alert of their surroundings. Angui said hoarsely, "Royal Tutor, is it really you?" The appearance of this mysterious figure shook Angui. He could hardly believe this. The royal tutor's contribution could not be denied in regard to Lulan's survival to this very day. The spectre nodded slightly. He said, "I was the one who ordered the Bonner family to defend the crystal with their lives. Your Majesty, surely you won't blame me for this?" Angui smiled awkwardly. "I'm sure you have your own reasons for doing things, royal tutor. How could I possibly blame you?" Ming Shirin was speechless. How did he change his words so smoothly? After a moment, he said, "Your Majesty, your promise to my master. Naturally, I'll honor the promise. However, the royal tutor has always been the decision-maker in regard to many of Lulan's affairs." What a two-faced man. Angui changed his stance so quickly. Lang Luo, Pan Litian, and Lu Zhou were used to this. Since time immemorial, men's principles would change depending on who was in power. It was meaningless to argue. The change in Angui's attitude was within Lu Zhou's expectations as well. He was already prepared for this. Lu Zhou looked at the spectre in the air and said, "Jiangwenxiu. I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting for you as well. The lotus severing era has dawned. Can you stop the tides of the nine-leaf stage on your own?" Lu Zhou asked. Jiang Wenxiu's voice was hoarse when he spoke. "I've spent centuries stopping the 12 nations and Great Yen from producing nine-leaf cultivators. This was how it has been, and how it will always be. All this is for your own selfish reasons?" "My selfish reasons?" Jiang Wenxiu raised his voice and said, "If a nine-leaf cultivator appears, there will certainly be disasters. When that time comes, humans will be wiped out. However, you forced your way into the nine-leaf stage for your own goals. Who's the selfish one? Disaster?" Lu Zhou looked at Jiang Wenxiu, who was hovering in the sky. "Ever since the birth of men, there have always been disasters. Humans adapt and grow from disasters. The greatest proof for this is the existence of the 9-leaf and 10-leaf stage in the Red Lotus world." Upon hearing this, Jiang Wenxiu's eyes flashed as he said, "You know about the Red Lotus? However, you only know a part of it. Do you know how great of a price had been paid because of the 9-leaf and 10-leaf stages? Countless individuals lose their lives every year because of them. Are you going to turn a blind eye to that? It's precisely because of people like you that humans aren't powerful enough," Lu Zhou gruffly said. "In other words, if they were strong enough, why would they have to fear the beasts?" Jiang Wenxiu was taken aback and puzzled. He had met Ji Tiandao 3 times before this. When did Ji Tiandao become this eloquent? Moreover, the things Ji Tiandao knew had exceeded his expectations. Fine. When our views are irreconcilable, it's a waste to continue the discussion. At this moment, more and more cultivators were gathering around them. Among them, many powerful cultivators were flying toward Jiang Wenxiu. Shinmu Nation, here. Wuchang Nation, here. Yuan'er Nation, here. Changi Nation, here. Kindly give your orders, royal tutor." The moment the 4 cultivators bowed, the head of the Bonner family, Zhenghai, was shaken. He immediately fell to his knees and said, "Lord Royal Tutor, please help the Bonner family." Zhenghai's 4 subordinates fell to their knees as well. "Lord Royal Tutor, please help the Bonner family." Jiang Wenxiu looked at Zhenghai indifferently as he said, "All right." Zhenghai was overjoyed. "Thank you, Lord Royal Tutor. The Bonner family will follow your instructions for generations to come. We'll defend the secret of the crystal to our deaths." Jiang Wenxiu looked down at the others and said, "Ji Tiandao. You promise that you won't attempt the 9-leaf stage back then? Since you've repeatedly broken your promise, I'll kill you." The other 7 nations are already on their way to Great Yen. The remaining 4 nations have surrounded Lulan's ancient city. After your death, I'll seal everything here. Your name won't appear in the records. After he finished speaking, he waved his hand. Ongue hastily bowed toward Lu Zhou and said, I have no choice. Please forgive me. When the other officials saw this, they said, Your Majesty, I think the royal tutor has a point. Lord Royal Tutor, please help Lu Lan. With these, their stance was clear. The cultivators near the curtain-like barrier in the sky continued to grow in number. The other 4 nations of the alliance were in the ancient city now. Lu Zhou looked up at the specter. He raised a palm and said, I'd like to see how capable you are. His fingers glowed blue, and several characters appeared between his fingers. Whoosh. Soon after, abandoned wisdom shot toward Jiang Wenxiu. The palm seal passed through Jiang Wenxiu and collided with the sky curtain. Boom. A ripple spread on the sky curtain. As Lu Zhou expected, this was just a projection of Jiang Wenxiu. There were both advantages and disadvantages to this. The disadvantage was that he could not kill Jiang Wenxiu. The advantage was that the others were not even worth worrying about. Jiang Wenxiu allowed the palm seal to pass through him. He waved his sleeve and said, Get them. Around the sky curtain, the shamans raised their hands. Purple light spheres appeared in their palms immediately. Various avatars appeared in the surroundings as well. There were Wolf King avatars, Leopard King avatars, and Tiger King avatars. All of them lunged at the same time. The purple light spheres gathered in the center of the Grand Witchcraft formation. With this, the reduction effect from the witchcraft was activated. Lu Zhou had experience dealing with Grand Witchcraft formations, so he knew how to break the Grand Formation. He pushed away from the ground and shot into the air. The light spheres shot toward Lu Zhou immediately. Lu Zhou recited the chant of the heavenly writing in his mind. To gain the power to silence everything, to maintain and manifest samadhi. Like light and shadow, permeating everywhere while staying still in samadhi. A blue lotus bloomed under Lu Zhou's feet. The mighty extraordinary power spilled into the surroundings, shattering the light rings in the sky. The purple energy was immediately overwhelmed. The Wolf King avatars that were lunging toward Lu Zhou were sent flying back. The witchcraft cultivators who were hovering near the sky curtain spat out blood due to the impact from the tidal wave of Lu Zhou's power. The Grand Witchcraft formation that had just recently been activated shattered instantly. The surface of the tiles and bricks of the buildings seemed to have been removed. Lu Zhou's power was proof of the 9-leaf stage. The power of silence easily crushed Lu Zhou's enemies. He killed more than half of the cultivators around him, and the remaining were heavily wounded. Ding. Killed 150 targets. 4 nascent divinity realm targets, reward, 15,000 merit points. 4 divine court realm targets, reward, 1,200 merit points. The others are not counted. The entire place fell silent after Lu Zhou's attack. The sky was clear as though the rain had just passed. King Ongue of Lu Lan stumbled backward. He could not believe this. He trembled as he looked at Lu Zhou hovering in the air. His most elite royal guards had been crushed with just one move. The Grand Witchcraft formation had disappeared. The head of the Bonner family, Zhenghai, stared blankly at the sky. Meanwhile, Lu Zhou stroked his beard as though nothing had happened. He looked at Jiang Wenxiu in front of him. Jiang Wenxiu was shocked as well. He regarded Lu Zhou with a complicated gaze and said, Unbelievable. This is only the beginning, Lu Zhou replied. Indeed, it's only the beginning. I'm surprised you didn't trigger a disaster. Jiang Wenxiu said. I can say the same of you. Lu Zhou wanted to know what method Jiang Wenxiu used to suppress his own 9-leaf stage. If the 9-leaf stage would truly trigger a disaster, why did he not trigger a disaster? Jiang Wenxiu said, Naturally, I have my own methods. He waved his arm again. Outside Lu Lan's ancient city, cultivators marched in rows toward them from 3 directions like colonies of ants. In the air, 4 flying chariots, several hundred meters in length, flew toward them. Jiang Wenxiu's projection rose higher than the flying chariots. Lu Zhou rose higher as well. The higher he was, the further he could see. The 4 huge flying chariots and the countless flying cultivators surrounded the ancient city. There was no mortal in sight. When Lu Lan was in its prime, even Great Yen wouldn't dare to underestimate it. I've prepared these 4 nations for you. If you wish to fight me, you'll have to go through them. Jiang Wenxiu projected his voice to Lu Zhou. The drones from the 4 flying chariots were like roaring wind as they drew closer. They arrived at the ancient city without much obstruction. Lu Zhou looked at the 4 flying chariots and said, "Just a ragtag mob. I admire your confidence. I hope you'll unleash the power of a 9-leaf cultivator so you can serve as a warning to others." Jiang Wenxiu's projection flew away. Lu Zhou did not attack. He needed to find out where Jiang Wenxiu was. At this moment, Ming Shirin, Yu Zhenghai, Lang Luo, and Pan Litian flew over and stood behind Lu Zhou. When he saw the troops from the 4 allied nations, Ming Shirin was inwardly shocked. He said, "The royal tutor sure knows how to lay a trap. This will be tricky." The 5 people from the evil sky pavilion hovered in the air as they looked at the countless cultivators from the 4 nations. "Protect you, Zhenghai," Lu Zhou said apathetically. "Don't worry, master." Yu Zhenghai quickly said, "Don't mind me." Naturally, the others ignored him. Yu Zhenghai did not even have his cultivation base or memories. He needed the protection. King Ongue could no longer think straight. The officials were also at a loss. The only garrison of the ancient city had been swept away by the greatest expert of Great Yen. However, they had made their stance clear before this. The head of the Bonner family, Lan Hai, retreated instinctively. He did not expect that the royal tutor was only a projection. The reactions of those from Lu Lan did not escape Lu Zhou's notice. He said, "Get them." "I'll get him." The golden gourd bottle burst forth, with radiance as Pan Litian dove. Although he was recultivating, he was still superior to his peers. As the saying went, an emaciated camel is still larger than a horse. Upon seeing this, Lan Hai was frightened out of his wits. He hastily cast a spell as he attempted to flee. The golden gourd bottle flashed again with golden radiance. Bam! It landed squarely on Lan Hai's back. Lan Hai had been injured by Lu Zhou to begin with. He was no match for Pan Litian with his heaven-grade weapon. He spat out a mouthful of blood before he fell face-first to the ground. Pan Litian nodded in satisfaction. He reached out and launched a palm seal that caught Lan Hai and pulled him back. He flew back to Lu Zhou's side. "Stop struggling. I might just let you tumble to your death." Pan Litian's words frightened Lan Hai so much that he stilled immediately. Then, Pan Litian raised his hand and sealed Lan Hai's extraordinary 8 meridians. Now that the greatest elite from the Clarity Sect has personally sealed Lan Hai's cultivation base, Lan Hai had almost no chance of breaking free. Meanwhile, from the 4 flying chariots that stopped above the ancient city, 4 figures leaped out of the flying chariots. They stopped short of 100 meters before Lu Zhou and arranged themselves in a semicircle. "Arwen of Shimu Nation is here to fight by order of the royal tutor. Bask of Wuchang Nation is here to fight by order of the royal tutor. Kubo of Nier Nation is here to fight by order of the royal tutor. Xiaji of Roli Nation is here to fight by order of the royal tutor." The 4 of them had strong auras. Their battle spirits were off the charts, and excitement burned brightly in their eyes. Xiaji, the Rolian, could not wait to make his move. The death of the Rolian general, Carol, incited fury in the Rolians. Moreover, there were 10,000 captives held in Liang province at this moment. Lu Zhou looked at the 4 of them and said, "I've always been merciful. If you turn back now, you may keep your lives. The arrow is already nocked. It has to be fired. One of us will have to die today." With the powerful royal tutor supporting them, how could they let this chance slip through their fingers? At this moment, battle drums sounded from the 4 flying chariots. Xiaji said, "The other 7 nations are already on their way to Heaven's Moat. Even if you have the power of the 9-leaf stage, you can't save people from such great distance. The royal tutor is watching over us today. The royal tutor has already reached the 9-leaf stage centuries ago. What are we waiting for?" Lu Zhou studied the 4 cultivators. It seemed like Jiang Wenxiu did a good job brainwashing them. Arwen of Shenmue drew a saber and loudly announced, "I'll go first." He wielded with saber with both hands as he summoned his avatar. Whiz. A lotusless leopard king avatar appeared before it disappeared. It was clear Arwen was trying to show his strength. The 8 leaves around his avatar betrayed his cultivation base. Who knew he might even be an 8-leaf and half cultivator? Lu Zhou stroked his beard and nodded upon seeing this. It seemed like Jiang Wenxiu intended to use him to kill these potential 9-leaf cultivators. Here I come. Arwen suddenly flickered out of sight as he leaped 50 meters ahead. When he appeared, he merged with his leopard king avatar. As he held the saber with both hands, the energy saber elongated and broadened. It seemed capable of piercing the heavens. He leaped again and brought his saber down in a hacking motion. The energy saber resembled a huge guillotine that was dropping down. Zhenghai was already paralyzed with fear at this sight. On the other hand, the 2 elders, Zhenghai and Zhenghai, did not even flinch. The energy saber fell toward Lu Zhou's face. At this moment, Lu Zhou raised 2 fingers of his right hand, and a faint blue light flashed. Bam! The energy saber stopped moving. Everyone's attention was focused on Lu Zhou. His left hand was still resting on his back. He had raised his right hand slightly, and with seemingly little effort, he caught the huge energy saber with 2 fingers. Arwen was shocked. Although he knew a 9-leaf cultivator would be powerful, he did not expect Lu Zhou would be able to stop the attack he had unleashed unreservedly. When he regained his senses, he tried to free his energy saber from Lu Zhou's hold, but he found that he could not move it at all. How was this possible? Arwen increased the input of primal chi and his force. Alas, the huge saber still remained unmoved. The old man who was holding the energy saber between his fingers appeared nonchalant and calm. Too powerful. Soon after, Lu Zhou flickered out of sight. Grand technique. While Arwen was distracted, Lu Zhou shot past him. Goosebumps rose on Arwen's skin, and his hair stood on ends. This was bad. The energy saber scattered as he raised his weapon to defend himself. Bam! There was a flash of light as Lu Zhou landed behind Arwen. He held Unnamed in his hand. The other 3 opponents were only 50 meters away as they looked at the seemingly frail old man. Arwen's back was facing Lu Zhou. He seemed to have frozen over, he was still wielding his saber with both hands. Arwen. A soundwave rolled out of Shenmue Nation's flying chariot. The soundwave rolled over them, and the saber cracked into 2. At the same time, Arwen's body was cleaved into 2 as well. Then, like trash, he plummeted to the ground as his blood rained down. Ding! Killed a target. Reward, 1,500 merit points. Lu Zhou had easily killed his opponent with a single move. Who could compare to a 9-leaf cultivator? Most of the people present knew a 9-leaf cultivator was powerful, but the extent of a 9-leaf cultivator's strength truly exceeded their expectations. He had easily killed an elite who had recultivated to the 8-leaf stage after severing his lotus. How unfair! The wind blew in the night scare, causing Lu Zhou's robes to flutter. He looked like an immortal at this moment. The others could hardly breathe. At this moment, a gruff and familiar voice rang from behind the 4 flying chariots. Continue. Lord Royal Tutor has ordered us to continue. I'll go. Bask of Wuchang Nation shouted as he volunteered himself. He merged with his Tiger King avatar, and the muscles on his arms seemed to grow immediately. He leaped out and brought his paws down. Without the shackles of the Golden Lotus, the 8-leaf Tiger King was now unrestrained. Lu Zhou raised his right hand. Black runes swirled around Unnamed. There was a flurry of movements before he vanished out of sight. Bask said gruffly, "I was waiting for this." He roared and released an overwhelming soundwave. His roar resounded across the heavens. Although it was just a soundwave, the others felt as though it was palpable when it rolled over them. What a powerful roaring technique! The sound had barely faded when Lu Zhou appeared beside the Tiger King. With an indifferent expression, he swung his right arm. Block. Bask raised his arms. It was like a hot knife through butter as Unnamed easily cut into the Tiger King avatar, Arwen's arms, and his torso. The battle ended just like that. Bask's lips trembled, and his eyes were brimming with fear. He could hardly believe this. Did you think you'd be able to injure me with that pathetic sound technique? Ding. Killed a target. Reward, 1,500 merit points. The remaining cultivators, Kubo of Yuan'er Nation and the Rolian, Xiaoji, were greatly shaken and frightened. 8-leaf cultivators had been instantly killed with a single strike. How could they not feel afraid? They turned to look in the direction from where the earlier order came. The royal tutor's voice rang in a timely manner. Charge at him together. Zhou gauged his extraordinary power. He had killed 2 cultivators. Although he had used Unnamed, he still expended half of his extraordinary power. He did not expect the duo would still be bold enough to come at him after he killed 2 of their comrades. Kubo and Xiaoji attacked together. At the same time, countless cultivators leaped out from the 4 flying chariots. Dozens of 10 Worlds avatars and hundreds of 9 Transformation Yin-Yang avatars charged at Zhou from 3 directions. There were also a handful of nascent Divinity Realm experts in the fray. They were like a swarm of locust plague.